What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Hanco Fab, and behind me is my 2002 E350. I converted to four-wheel drive, and I just thought I'd go some ins and outs of doing one of these. So follow along, and we'll do it together. Show it to you. All right, first off, we started out with a 2002 E350 Extended. This is a 7.3 van, and it was originally from Utah. This van was actually used for a firefighter recovery van for field fires. So there was like a big water tank inside and all kinds of weird firefighting gear. So when I got a hold of it, they were decommissioning the van due to the fact that the transmission had failed. And they got a replacement, and the replacement only lasted a couple hundred miles. So they were going back and forth with the people that built the tranny, and they just finally decided, you know, they'd had enough, and they were just going to sell the van. So I got a hold of it. This is the only one I could find close to me. I'm in Colorado, and I had to drive 6 hours to go get this thing. And this is the nearest 7.3 that I could find at the time. So let's go through some of the items that I did to convert this to four-wheel drive. So first off, the front axle assembly. Front axle assembly is from a 2006 F250. And I wanted the coil spring front end with the radius arms for my van. So this is my shop van, obviously. So that's where I started. The next thing that had to happen was I had to figure out axle placement to clear a 35-inch tire. And this actually wasn't too difficult. What I did was I actually moved the axle center line forward about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. That way when you turn, it doesn't hit the back of the fender right there. So clock to clock, it doesn't hit. Front bumper obviously had to be clearance right there, and the bumpers are going to go away anyway because I'm in the process of designing new ones for the E-Series platform, all that good jazz. So the next thing that had to happen, you know, wheel and tire choice. Wheel and tire choice for this was a set of Method 305s. These are 20 by 9 wheels. The offset is for an F250 2005 and up. So those are pretty much a direct bolt-on. Nothing has to change there. And then the front springs these are the actual Moog springs, the upgraded Moog springs you would normally use for a radius arm application. And they work out pretty good. They're a little stiff, is what I would say about them. They're a bit stiff. So down the road, I think this is probably going to get coilovers, is what I'm going to end up doing. So carrying on, here we go. So one of the things that has to happen on these vans, fuel tank has to get shortened. So factory fuel tank has to be, basically that front bump out that's on here has to be cut out and walled off for the transfer case to clear. So I went ahead and did that in the shop, pressure checked it, built a 16 gauge end cap for the tank. So that worked out really well. I am going to make a larger tank for this, and I will probably offer these for the diesel and the gas platforms once they're all done. So when you go about doing one of these, On the older vans, basically before the 6-liter came out, and I think the 6-liter was available in the van 2003, 2004, somewhere around there, when they got rid of the 7.3. Anyway, and they replaced it with the 5R110 transmission. This being a 4R100, the transmission has to come completely apart to do a 4-wheel drive change if you're going to utilize the factory case. And when you do that, you have to change the adapter housing and tail shaft when you're in there. So that's the reason, if you're going to do one of these, having a transmission, finding one with a transmission failure is not necessarily a bad thing. So, custom driveline for the front, and the cross member has to be modified. You have to build basically extension plates right here so that the cross member has to be lowered down a bit to accommodate the transfer case where it needs to sit. So, not too big a deal. The transfer case on this one is an MP271. And then the rear drive shaft, it was obviously a custom unit that I had the drive shaft shop build for me. And I put a spline slip yoke in the front. See right there. And these are my radius arm brackets for the swap, and I designed these, and they're pretty hefty. Let me tell you that. Front shocks are 2005, basically lift shocks for an F250. So those are the Bilstein 5100s. And those are for the F250 platform, but they fit on here. So, but that is for a lifted F250, basically. And just kind of a shot underneath so you can kind of see everything. I did end up going with braided stainless steel brake lines for this. See right there, those guys. So some of the ins and outs of doing one of these is deciding, I think, if you want a gas or a diesel van. I think for a lot of people, if you don't have a lot of experience with a diesel van, they can be very expensive. This one, the fact that after they are decommissioning it, the cost to put it back together would be pretty high for somebody, because I did end up putting a new water pump, new radiator, new alternator, new pulleys, belts, all the stuff from it sitting, and the fact that it's a diesel, so high pressure oil lines, turbo up pipes, all those kind of things have to be addressed, especially on the 7.3. The 6 liters are kind of a different beast, and they can have their own problems. And to work on a 6 liter in a van, if anybody's out there hasn't done it, it's not fun. The V10 platform and 5.4 platform, those are tried and true, super good. Not the most power in the world, but they work out pretty well. So in another video, if you watch this video, I'm going to do a video just on the rear axle assembly, because on this van it does not have the factory rear axle, the semi-floater. So I will do a quick video on it. So if you watch this one, please check out the next one on the rear axle. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button or the bell button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And also, please be sure to follow me on Instagram at HenkoFab. Have a good one.